Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Fursty back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys which combat rigs you need to be using in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. So real quick before I get in this video, if you guys could drop a like on the video, I'd really appreciate that. Let's see if we can break 10 likes on this video. I've been hitting that goal a lot lately, so I'd really appreciate if you guys could drop a like on the video. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe to me for more content like this, and I'm going to be trying to pump out as often as I can. But without any further ado, let's just get straight into this video. So I'm making this video because I've seen in my comment section and a lot of other YouTubers' comment section all these questions relating to combat rigs that people just have no clue about. People are saying stuff like, dude, how did you just live through that gunfight? How did you just run that fast? How did you get your streak so quick? How did you just jump that high in the air? Like, people actually don't know the answers to these questions, and you'd be surprised at how many people actually don't know the abilities that rigs can do in this game. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys which are the best rigs to be running and which rigs that you really need to use to do the best and kind of have the best outcome of using that rig. So before I even talk about what rigs you guys need to be running, let me just explain what a combat rig is for the few of you guys that don't actually know what a rig is. So pretty much in Black Ops 3, the game developers decided to add something into multiplayer called specialists. Now, specialists are just characters that you are playing as in multiplayer that you can choose from. There were 9 of them in Black Ops 3. In Infinite Warfare, there are 6 combat rigs, and pretty much all of those combat rigs have a special unique trait and weapon to them. So that's what combat rigs are. You can select your combat rig by going down to create a class, hitting X or A on select combat rig, hit X or A again, and then you can use your D-pad or your joystick to scroll up and down to pick the one that you want. And once you find the one that you want, you just press X or A again. So I know that was a very basic tutorial. A lot of you guys are probably cringing that I just actually said how to select a combat rig, but again, you would be surprised. There are a lot of people that play this game, a lot of new people that play this game, and not everybody knows how to do something as simple as that, which is why I have a YouTube channel, let you guys know stuff like that. So if you guys want to know more things like that, go ahead and drop a sub on my channel, because I cover a lot of stuff like this in Call of Duty. Now moving on to the main part of this video, I'm going to be explaining to you guys which combat rigs actually do what and which combat rigs are the best ones to use. So starting off with the first combat rig in the game, it's called Warfighter. Now, this rig is something that I used a lot when the game first came out. I was a huge fan of the Claw because it was just a melt machine. Like, the Claw was so good when the game first came out. You literally did not lose a single gunfight engagement with this payload, so that's why I used it. Now, after playing this game for a while, it's come to my attention that there are actually a lot better things that combat rigs can do besides just the Claw. So that's not something that I would recommend for this character. This is the combat rig that a lot of hardcore players use. So if you are a hardcore player, then this is probably the rig you are going to want to use, and the reason why is because there are 2 things that I would recommend using in the payload, those being overdrive and combat focus. Now, these 2 payloads do 2 completely separate things. Combat focus and overdrive were both in Black Ops 3 as well. Combat focus allows you to get double the amount of points that you would get for a kill and for other things like that when you have it popped, and then overdrive is something that you can pop to get a speed boost, pretty much like a temporary speed boost. It runs out when the meter runs out. So out of the 2, I would recommend using combat focus because you're not really gonna need to have a speed boost. Like, there's not really anything that requires you to get somewhere very quickly that I would find in this game. So definitely use combat focus as a payload if you're using this rig. And then the trait you're gonna want to use is resupply. Now, the reason I said this is for hardcore players is because the reason a lot of hardcore players are using this is so that they can use portable radar, so they have radar when no one has a UAV up, and then they use resupply, which is the trait with this rig, and it pretty much gives you like scavenger for your portable radars every time you kill and walk over an enemy's body. So not something that I would really recommend in core. I don't use this at all, never really have used it in core besides when the game first came out and I used the Claw, but this is definitely a really good combat rig to use in hardcore. Moving on to the next combat rig, which I think is the best one in the game, which is just one past Warfighter, which is Merc. Now, Merc is kind of like the big heavy duty combat rig in the game. This is the one that has all of the health added benefits and all the things like that. So the payload that I would definitely recommend using with this combat rig, which was my favorite thing to use in Black Ops 3, is kinetic or reactive armor. Now, this is what gives you more health. This is what the person has whenever you get into a gunfight and you hit a person over 5 times and they're still not dead. They most likely use reactive armor. So what reactive armor actually does is it gives you 4 extra bullets that you can eat in a gunfight. So you can eat a total of 8 bullets while using that combat payload. Now, moving into the best trait for Merc, I would say that would be Man-at-Arms, because with Man-at-Arms you spawn in with a completely full clip, so you don't really run out of ammo with this trait unless you are going on like over 30 gun streaks. So definitely use this if you find yourself running out of ammo. Another thing that's really good about combat rigs is you can use them to take out necessary perks. Like, instead of using Scavenger, you could use Merc and Man-at-Arms, and you wouldn't really need Scavenger because you'd have max ammo in your gun. So that's one of the rigs that I usually use in the game. The next rig that I would recommend using, which in my opinion is the best combat rig in the game, it's also the most hated combat rig in the game. You guys probably already know what I'm talking about, and that is the Synaptic Combat Rig. Now the reason that so many people do not like this combat rig is because a lot of people don't like the fact that there are jetpacks in Call of Duty. It's very well known. Everybody knows it, including Infinity Ward themselves. So when they throw in a combat rig that allows you to stay in the air longer, a lot of people don't like this. However, the cold fact about it is it's definitely the best thing to use in the game. You can utilize this movement, you can jump shot every enemy. It's pretty much like you're walking on the moon. You can jump as high as you want to, and then right when you hit the ground, you pretty much have all of your boots back already. So you can pretty much fly with this combat rig, which is why I usually use this specialist. A lot of people don't like that, but again, they can't deny that it's the best one in the game. Another really good thing about this is that the hitbox detection on this specialist is lower than all the other specialists in the game. So when using this rig, people actually have a harder time hitting your body in gunfights. Now out of the payloads, I would definitely use Rewind. The equalizer doesn't really do anything. It's kind of just like running an akimbo weapon, which is like not that cool at all. The Reaper payload is pretty lame. You turn into like a robotic dog and you slash people with your hand and you can get killed very easily. But Rewind actually is kind of like Glitch from Black Ops 3. You can use this payload to get out of any situation that you don't want to be in. So if you are on like a 15 gun streak, about to drop a deatomizer strike, and the enemies are all shooting at you, they all just spawn at your back, you can pop Rewind and it will pretty much get you out of that situation. So definitely a really valuable payload to use. So I'm only going to cover one more combat rig in this video. If I cover it any more than that, then I pretty much just be talking about every single combat rig in the game, which I'm not going to do in this video. So the last one that I'm going to be talking about, which I wouldn't really recommend using over any of the other ones that I've talked about in this video, is going to be the last one on the list, which is Phantom. Now Phantom is the one that people use to go completely invisible. It's also the combat rig that people take an extra bullet to the back with. It's the one that kind of looks like the dude is carrying a riot shield on his back, and that's simply because of the trait Rear Guard. Rear Guard is a trait that allows the person using it to have like pretty much an extra bullet or two to their back. It's like having a riot shield on your back in any other Call of Duty, except in this one, after you hit it twice, it just kind of disintegrates, poofs out of midair, it's gone, and then people can kill you from behind. So for this rig, I definitely recommend using the trait Rear Guard, and then as the payload for this trait, obviously, I'm going to have to go with Active Camo. That's my fan favorite from Black Ops 3. Active Camo just allows you to go invisible. You can pretty much use this to go around a corner without anybody seeing you. You can kind of use this payload to get information in the game too. Like, if you're around a corner and you know there's going to be a lot of people in a building, you can pop this and then slide in the building and see like where they all are set up. If you see that they're all like watching the same doorway, you can just slide in with Active Camo, get behind all of them, and just start spraying them down, and they didn't even know where you came from, and you can get like quad feeds with that. So that's really the only like good thing about this payload. I wouldn't recommend using Pulsar or the Sniper Ballista EM3. Those are just two things that are like half decent, but definitely not the best, and that's what we're looking for in this video. So those are going to be all the rigs that I'm going to be talking about. If I want to put them on a list from best to worst, I would have to say that Synaptic is the best, Merc comes in second, Warfighter comes in third, and Phantom comes in fourth. That's the list that I would put them in. Obviously, this whole video was based on my own personal opinion. There could definitely be rigs that you think are better than some that I've listed in this video. If so, feel free to put those in the comment section down below. I'm always down to hear what you guys think. So that's going to do it, guys. Drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy. Subscribe to me on my channel if you guys are new. I'm on the road to 300 subscribers, and until next time, guys, I am out. Peace.